really don't understand how Saints fans have confidence in their head coach, Dennis Allen. Like, the biggest concern for the New Orleans Saints has to be Dennis Allen as their head coach. Like, listen, I get it. You have the best team on paper in this division. The NFC South is not a talented division on paper. You got Derek Carr, the best QB in this division. I'm not denying that the Saints don't have the talent to win this division. They have a pretty easy schedule. So yes, judging New Orleans on paper, if you're just looking at their roster and their depth charts, they should be good enough to win this division and make it to the postseason with ease. But a lot of people are really overlooking Dennis Allen. This man is not a good head coach. He's not. Like, Saints fans act like Derek Carr is just going to fix everything. But yet, you guys act like Dennis Allen isn't a huge liability. Like, you guys are the same people who are saying, man, the Saints are going to be a playoff team, JT. You're tripping. When y'all were the same people who last year were making a petition to get Dennis Allen fired. What does this say? Change.org. Fire Saints head coach Dennis Allen. It had 5,723 signatures, right? Why this petition matters. In 2022, the Saints hired Dennis Allen as their new head coach after Coach Sean Payton decided to step down after 15 seasons. In his first season as the team's head coach, Allen has a record of 3-7 as the making of this petition. The worst start for the Saints since 2005 before Sean Payton arrived. Dang! Last in the NFL in turnovers and one of the worst red zone teams in football. He also decided to start Andy Dalton over then starting quarterback Jameis Winston after Jameis Winston suffered a back injury in Week 3 versus the Carolina Panthers. Is he spitting facts right now? Because this guy is spitting right now. This man cooking. He informed Winston that he will get the starting job back after he comes back from injury, a promise he hasn't fulfilled. Oh, so he's a liar? This is a good sign of leadership? A coach who lies to his players? This is good leadership to y'all Saints fans? This is the head coach that you believe is going to be able to win this division for y'all? It gets better, people. I promise y'all it gets better. Now, this isn't my words. This isn't my opinion. So you can't say I'm hating on y'all. This is coming from a New Orleans Saints fan directly from his mouth. We're reading this, right? Y'all eyes watching this, right? Y'all eyes see this, right? Y'all eyes see what we're reading right now, right? Andy Dalton has lost 4 of his last 5 games as a starter. Dennis Allen is 11-34 as a head coach. The Saints team under his watch has been an embarrassment. This man said the Saints have been an embarrassment under Dennis Allen. Embarrassment, people. Dennis Allen has not shown the leadership it takes to be a head coach of the New Orleans Saints and should be relieved of his duties. The Saints have become a disgrace, an abomination, and downright pathetic. Oh my God. Michael Thomas deserves better. This is the comments, people. Fuck. Somebody said, fuck him. Yes, there are a lot of injuries, but that doesn't excuse poor play calling and lack of discipline. Say it again, William Appeal. Yes, there are a lot of injuries, but that doesn't excuse poor play calling and lack of discipline. Y'all got to remember, the New Orleans Saints, prior to Dennis Allen becoming the head coach, they went 9-8 in Sean Payton's final season. He had 4 different QBs that year. Jameis Winston had them boys at 5-1 on top of this division. He had the best touchdown to interception ratio in the NFL up to that point, 14 TDs to 2 picks. And then he went down, and then he had to start Taysom Hill, Trevor Siemian, and Ian Book. In some way, somehow, Sean Payton had that team at 9-8 with the worst receiving core in the league that year. Do you know who was New Orleans' best receiver in 2021? Marquez Callaway. And they had a lot of injuries that season also. So how come Sean Payton can go 9-8, but yet Dennis Allen with a better team, even in spite of injuries, went 7-10. If you give Sean Payton last year's New Orleans team, they go to the playoffs. Chris Hood says, play stupid games and win stupid prizes. He making the Saints look bad. For all y'all Saints fans that think I'm hating on y'all, this ain't me. This is comments from y'all fan base. People in y'all fan base saying that Dennis Allen isn't a good coach. I'm pretty sure some of y'all watching this are the same people who believe that the Saints are a playoff team though, but y'all just gonna overlook the fact that this dude isn't a good head coach? He ain't got no fire or passion in him as a head coach. Free J-Bo, man. There is clearly no inspiration on the field, and motivation starts with the head coach. Allen has a mediocre record as a head coach at best. Anyone who cannot go at least 8-8 with this team full of that much talent does not deserve the reins. Say it again, Brian Nelson. Say it again. They preaching right now. And this isn't coming from me, Saints fans. This ain't coming from me, so you can't call me biased. This is words from your own fan base. Your own fan base. Dennis Allen is terrible. We deserve so much better than him. He's taking a very good team and making them look stupid. Get rid of this joker. So once again, you Saints fans are really going to overlook the fact that Dennis Allen is your head coach. You just think that Derek Carr is just going to fix all your problems? Derek Carr is a solid QB, but he's not going to be able to overcome bad coaching. This dude, Dennis Allen, is not a good head coach. He's not. How many second chance head coaches that have had losing records have worked out? Please tell me. I mean, Doug Peterson doesn't count. He doesn't have a losing record. And please don't use Bill Belichick, because Bill Belichick is an anomaly. Recently, second chance head coaches have not worked out in the league, man. Pat Shurmur has failed. Todd Bowles is failing right now. He could barely win one of the worst divisions, if not the worst division in football last year, with Tom freaking Brady. Second chance head coaches do not work out more times than not unless they're proven head coaches that have at least been able to get a team into the postseason. It doesn't matter if Dennis Allen was the head coach for the Raiders and they were a bad organization. That's why you were hired, to change the organization. The New Orleans Saints literally retained all of Sean Payton's assistants to make the transition for Dennis Allen easier. What the hell happened to Pete Carmichael as the offensive coordinator, bruh? Like, this dude was really good calling plays under Sean Payton when given the opportunity. Now, all of a sudden, he's forgotten how to call plays? Like, I thought Pete Carmichael was supposed to be a good play caller. We didn't see it last year. Like, what happened? Oh, JT, we got to start Andy Dalton. We had all these injuries. Sean Payton went 9-8 with Marquez Callaway being his best receiver, dog. If you gave Sean Payton Chris Olave last season and the talent that the New Orleans Saints had, even in spite of injuries, they would have went to the postseason. A good head coach is able to overcome injuries. The Cincinnati Bengals had multiple injuries on the offensive line going into the postseason last year. Still were able to win a playoff game. The New York Giants, dog. Brian Daboll, his first season, went to the postseason with Daniel freaking Jones at QB, fam. Daniel Jones. They had no receivers and a not so great offensive line. Like, there are more coaches who did more with less than what Dennis Allen had. Like, I don't get how y'all keep overlooking this. Pete Carroll went to the postseason with Geno Smith. The Seattle Seahawks were expected to be amongst the worst teams in the NFL. They were expected to have the number 1 overall pick. Come on, man. Come on, man. There were coaches last season who did more with less. Pete Carroll went to the postseason with Geno Smith. You mean to tell me you thought that Geno Smith was going to be able to take Seattle to the postseason before last year? But y'all making excuses for Dennis Allen? Come on, man. Everybody deals with injuries. That's a part of the game. The good coaches are able to overcome injuries. Y'all really trying to make excuses for Dennis Allen when your own fan base has called this dude an abomination? Y'all see these comments? Your own fan base saying this. But I know what y'all gonna do in the comment section. I know what y'all gonna say. Y'all gonna say, man, JT, a small amount of the fan base doesn't speak for everybody. Like, come on. Get real. This man is not a good coach. Like, I just want y'all to just admit that Dennis Allen is a question mark. That's all I want. Can we at least agree on that? Can we at least agree that the biggest question mark for New Orleans this year is Dennis Allen? I like Derek Carr. I think Derek Carr is going to be solid. But having solid QB play is not going to be enough to overcome bad coaching. When you look at head coaches in their first 3 years, you are what you are. If you're a bad head coach, you're going to continue to do things that make you a bad head coach. Dennis Allen isn't good. I don't get how you Saints fans are overlooking this and you just think you're locked to win the division. The people in the national media who keep picking y'all to win the South, thinking that it's a guaranteed, they tripping too. Get real. Get real. People in the national media, all they do is look at the talent, but they overlook coaching. Why do you think that the Dallas Cowboys kept going 8-8 year after year after year after year after year after year after year? Because they had Jason Garrett. Jason, the master hand clapper Garrett, was an average head coach. That's why Dallas kept on underachieving. You went 7-10 last year, not because of injuries, but because you had bad coaching. Sean Payton went 9-8 with a way worse team, even with injuries. Dennis Allen is not a good head coach. Your own fan base, man, your own fan base doesn't believe in him. And some of y'all are probably just flipping the switch now because it's the off season. This is the time where everybody is overly optimistic for their team. But sometimes I think that it pays to be a little bit real. Because all y'all people that's being overly optimistic about this team, when it comes to middle of the season and New Orleans is disappointing, you're going to be right back to where you were last year. The biggest concern for the New Orleans Saints in 2023 is Dennis Allen. And I think he's going to be the reason why the New Orleans Saints likely disappoint this season. Now, if I'm wrong and New Orleans wins this division or they make it to the playoffs, give Dennis Allen Coach of the Year. Just give him Coach of the Year. I have no problem coming on here and saying that I'm wrong. All you Saints fans are going to say, man, I hope you don't run if we end up proving you wrong. I'm going to be here, brother. I promise you, I'm not going nowhere. I'm going to be right on here laughing about how wrong I was. We're going to replay this and we all going to laugh at it. But right now, Dennis Allen hasn't proven anything. I think that the Carolina Panthers are going to win the division. They got the better head coach, Frank Wright. He has a winning record. He's really good with QBs, and he's the only coach in this division who's got his team to the postseason. I don't trust no Dennis Allen. Dennis Allen hasn't proven anything as a head coach. He hasn't proven that he can build a winning football team. He hasn't even been able to change the culture.